All right, people, I gotta get into it. I haven't made any content in a little bit, so I'm gonna give you some content for how to come up. Since I really haven't been giving content because I've been focused on the book, but let me give you something to hold you over until the book drop. So in this video, I just want to talk about doing for self. All right. So in order to do for yourself, you gotta be committed, you gotta be consistent, and you gotta be able to communicate. All right. You need these things because why? What is your legacy going to be, right? Nobody lives forever. So what is your legacy going to be? What are you going to leave for your descendants? To how are you going to inspire them? Okay, inspire them, right? And okay, let's say you don't choose to have descendants, right? For the people who aren't related to you, right? What impact will you leave on the community, right? This is why you got to remain committed to what you want to accomplish, right? Because it's going to be good days, it's going to be bad days. Let's get into consistency, right? You need to be consistent so that you can yield, okay? If you want to see results, direct results of your effort, you got to be committed and consistent to doing it every day, okay? Okay, I'm not saying you gotta work yourself to death, but you have to remain committed. All right, there has to be some sort of constant frequency going on so that you can see the results of your labor. You can have some fruits of your labor. Okay. Then let's talk about communication. You got to be able to communicate so that you can address and resolve problems, all right? Even if the problem is outside of your scope, you still need to be able to address it so that you can go and find the right people in order to help you out, whether that be a lawyer, whether that be an accountant, whether that be a doctor, whether that be a professor, so on and so forth, all right? So these 3 C's are very important: commitment, consistency, and communication, all right? Let's talk about doing for yourself again. The only thing you can control and doing for yourself is yourself, all right? Trying to control others is only going to add to your stress, right? Many of us have jobs where we have to work in teams, and we might have more than one person on a team that does the same job. And just because you have the same position does not mean that everyone works equally, okay? There are many times when you might take on more of a load than your other coworkers who are doing the same jobs, and they know that they aren't doing as much as you, okay? Now, when you try to ask them for help, right? If you choose to ask them for help, some of them might still ignore you. Why? Because you can't make someone do something that they don't want to do. And trying to control others is only going to add more stress, because now you're mad that you're doing more than you probably should be doing, right? And no one's helping you out. So that leaves you with some options, right? You can choose to just find a new gig, or you can choose to change the nature of your relationship, right? You can structure it so that if I'm doing more, then I need to be compensated more for my efforts alone, okay? Now that's something I'm gonna get into in the book. Okay, lastly, let me leave you with this. Everyone is in the same position. You, Bill Gates, 50 Cent, everyone has to produce at the end of the day. And by production, I mean everyone has to provide a service that's valuable to some sort of consumer or customer, all right? They have to make someone happy at the end of the day. They have to make someone happy. So what that means is they produce something, okay? And in exchange, they receive money for it. Or they produce something, and in exchange, they trade money for it. The customer trades the money for the something that they want. All right. Now this all. Now going into do for yourself. Let's finish off with happiness. Happiness is a state of being. Okay. It's a side effect of the actions that you take, that you partake in, or the actions that happen to you. Okay. Now it's a mental state. Okay, it's a mental state of feeling good, of well-being, whatever you want to call it. All right, so that means that you know the things that make you happy, but at the same time, you know the things that don't make you happy. But going into the 3 C's of commitment, consistency, and communication, controlling yourself and doing for yourself, and everyone is in the same position, right? You have to understand how to use all these tools in order to make yourself happy, okay? Because no one else is going to make you happy. But again, in this book, I'm talking about happiness, I'm talking about freedom, and I'm talking about how to come up financially, all right? Money is not equal to happiness. I just want to go into that, okay? Because you can make as much money You could be a millionaire and still be unhappy. Rest in peace, Kate Spade. All right.